Welcome hunters, my name is Dugarr, and in a recent stream the question about sharpness came up. So if you're an experienced hunter, this all will be common knowledge to you. But for a beginner, this might be useful. To get one thing out of the way, you have to sharpen all melee weapons, even the blunt ones. But not bows or guns, those have ammunition to deal with. Oh, and because the YouTube algorithm isn't very nice to me, I would really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, comment and all that stuff to help this channel grow. Thank you. So, let's start with the basics. When you use your weapon, it will dull over time. Since Rise, we even get an audio cue indicating the loss of sharpness as you fall down one sharpness level. More to sharpness levels in a minute. Once your weapon becomes dull, you'll need to sharpen it by selecting the whetstone. So, I mentioned sharpness levels. Those go from the dullest to the sharpness and are represented by the colored section of your sharpness bar. They are red, orange, yellow, green, blue and white. In games with G rank there's also purple. Every weapon has its own amount of sharpness, some go up to white and some already stop at green. So what happens if you don't sharpen? Sharpness directly affects how much damage your weapon can do. Thanks to the guys over at Extra Life, I can give you this little chart. As you can see, we have to differ if you use a raw weapon, meaning one that doesn't come with an element or ailment, and weapons that do come with an element or ailment. For raw or elementless weapons, yellow sharpness will give you the damage mentioned in the weapon description. Going up in sharpness will give you a damage boost of 5% for green, 20 for blue and even 32 for white. Same in the other direction. If your sharpness falls below yellow, you will do less damage. Another thing worth knowing is that a weapon with less damage is more prone to bounce off of a monster, doing no damage whatsoever, in addition of being in an animation that makes you an easy target and breaking your combo. So as you can see, you should avoid dropping in sharpness. I would even say try to not fall below green. So does that mean never to use a weapon that does not come with white sharpness? No, of course not. Because if a weapon comes with less sharpness, it has a different aspect that will balance it out. Like a lot of elemental damage, more affinity, more slots or something else. There are even skills that reward playing with less sharpness, like Bludgeoner or Dulling Strike. After knowing what sharpness is and what it does, the real challenge is to know when is the right time to sharpen. Because sharpening your weapon locks you in a lengthy animation, which in return makes you an easy target. The most easiest time is when the monster runs away from you, which will happen regularly. But if you need to sharpen mid-fight, it can get tricky. In multiplayer, you can find an opening if the monster attacks your teammates. In single player, you have to learn the movement of the monster to decide when will be the right time. A good way to ease that burden is the skill speed sharpening, which can reduce the time from 4 seconds down to 1. You should never wait too long before sharpening, because sharpening will not fill your whole gauge. If you waited too long, chances are that you have to sharpen a second time right after, or even a third. If you made it this far into the video, you will probably have noticed that I didn't mention the biggest change Monster Hunter Rise did in this matter. Because now we have Palamutes, and yes, Palamutes let us sharpen our weapon on the go. So everything I just talked about is worthless, right? It depends. Not everyone brings a doggo. I myself have often only 2 cats at my side. Finally, there are 2 nice skills that can help you keep sharpness longer, that being Protective Polish and Razor Sharp. The first lets you ignore degradation for a set amount of time, and the second one slows it down by ignoring a percentage of hits. I hope this was helpful, and as always, stay strong, keep hunting.